What's up, guys? Marty Burks here. Today we're drilling some rye behind our corn acres. It is cold here in north central Kansas. It's like 25 degrees, something like that, and there's a chance of snow tomorrow and Monday. We have not had moisture, not snow, not rain, anything for probably 2 months. We did have kind of a drizzly thing the other day, but wasn't even measurable. Seems like every time you see me drilling something or planting something, it's cold. Well, it's just the way it is, I guess. So we've already done a few acres, as you can see. I'm getting ready to start at this corner and unfold and make it easy. We got that same crust buster all plant that we used to drill that alfalfa. It's the neighbor's drill. It's the same drill, like I say, we used to drill the alfalfa in one of the other videos on here. The only thing different is we're in an Agco white workhorse 6175. AKA the millennial Falcon. I mean, just look at this door. Like, it's gray and just really spaceshipy, if that's even a thing. So yeah, now that we got that out of the way, this is not an Agco 6175. It will from now on be known as the Millennial Falcon. So there. Just gonna get back in this corner, get unfolded, and do these acres here right by the house. There is a bunch of ducks on the pond back there. Dang! That's cool. The migration, the amount of birds and stuff flying over have been insane this weather. It's pretty cool. So anyway, you've seen this before. We drop her down like so. We are in neutral so that we can let this thing unfold and push us around a little bit and actually give her a little more juice here. Now we want to bring that tongue into place, and after we get this drill in the ground, we'll have to adjust it here again. Alright, so we want to do a new pattern. We're going to do a straight AB line here. I'm going to go around the field a couple times and then I'll set that AB line and we'll use it. But for now I'm going to get it there. We're going to take off here nice and slow. Get the drill in the ground. And then as you can see, we need to pull up our tongue just a little bit. There we go. Alrighty. And we're off. Alright, so we're painting the screen here. We're going around the field here. And then we'll hit these AB lines. We'll set up an AB line and let the auto steer, the guidance, take over here. Last time when we grilled alfalfa, you saw us in my John Deere tractor. The reason we're not using that tractor today is because this tractor and drill were already hooked up. And so, I'll speed up here a little bit. We just left it hooked up. Easier than unhooking it and hooking it to mine. And this has the guidance, which is handy. We filled up the drill with rye, and then we'll go off the guidance so that my buddy and I can work out a price per acre for the uses of the tractor, the rye, everything. So that's why we're doing it that way. See that cleans out there in the end. Straight over reason we're drilling it and not flying it on with an airplane, a lot of people fly them on with an airplane, fly rye on, as we've just been so dry, we were afraid if we flew it on and we didn't get any moisture at all, that we would not be spending our money wisely. You know, for the cost of the airplane, and then you want to seed almost double the rate sometimes, as it is, let alone if you have the, you know, don't have moisture. So we elected to drill it and see what happens. In some of my other videos, you saw some cows that we were grazing on cover crop. It was rye. My buddy and I, the buddy that actually has this Starlin tractor, we flew rye on a cornfield, and then we turned cows out on it. The results from flying that rye on the subsequent bean crop, the beans did yield fairly decent, I think, compared to beans that did not have a cover crop before them. We don't know if that's because the beans didn't grow as tall, if the cover crop used the moisture, so the beans didn't grow as tall early on, and then when it turned off dry again later in the year, they didn't have as much of a powerhouse to keep up. Oh, I'm spilling my coffee. So we're doing the rye game again because we didn't have really clear data on whether or not it works. So we're going to find out. We do know it works great for grazing livestock, so you get your money back out of it if you're running cattle on it. So where I'm talking about the beans using the moisture and things, or the rye using the moisture in front of the beans, we were dry early on, so we think that maybe this rye used up the moisture that was available early on for those beans and kind of dinged the beans. But just by happenstance, it worked out that when those beans got to growing, because we caught later rains, they were shorter when it turned off dry again. So when they went to go fill a pod, they didn't have to fill a pod and keep up this massive plant. If you're tracking with me, I know that's kind of rambling, but that is why we think the cover crop worked. It may have helped water infiltration. I mean, there's a whole bunch of arguments on cover crop or die, but you know, we, as far as our own farms here, we don't have real clear data on it, other than it is awesome to graze your cattle on. And again, each farm has its own goal here. So by planting the rye on this farm, we're trying to build up some more organic matter because we just rebuilt all these terraces within, well, right before this corn crop, actually. It would have been that winter. This time last year, we'd rebuilt them. So on this farm, we want to build organic matter as much as we can. On another farm that I did before I started videoing here today, I want to do the same thing because there's some rocks showing in places of that field. It had been mined and farmed pretty hard. There's 13 acres that we're going to experiment planting green into, crimping it, seeing what that does. And then there's 60 acres up here behind the lodge that we're going to graze it. So one cover crop, bunch of different uses, or intended uses, I should say. If you look out there, even with the corn crop picked, you can still see some bare dirt, big old cracks in the ground. So we're just going to try and help this farm as much as possible by using a cover crop.